Hello everyone and welcome back to All the Mods 9 episode 7, where today we are finally going to sort out both our storage and our power needs. So let's get into it. So I didn't do a ton in between episodes other than just look at the horrific state of what I laughably call my storage system here. So since episode 1, we have been working with basically these chests. So we've got numerous different types of chests in here. We've got just some standard vanilla chests, but we've also got a ton of these just diamond chests from sophisticated storage. We've got some storage drawers over here that we're using to grow various different crops, both here and down in the mystical agriculture room. We've got just regular chests downstairs for like our farming stuff. And if you notice, especially over here in my stone area, yeah, we're like out of space. And then you go look at my backpack, and this is all the stuff I don't have room for in my storage. And yeah, it's just a mess. So we need to solve that particular issue. And I have been working on a little bit of infrastructure here in between episodes. So over here in our kind of industrial smelting area thing that we've got going on, I've actually installed a door, and I've installed a few things over there, as you can see. So what is behind this door? Well, behind this door is our source of power for the time being. This is a magmator from Powah. Now, I've done nuclear reactors from Powah. I've done solar. I've done geothermal. I've done wind power from like immersive engineering and mechanism and a few other things. I've never done magma power. So I wanted to actually give this a shot here to see exactly how we can get this taken care of. So as you may notice, I've got a lava farm back here. I went and found some dripstone in between episodes, set this up into sort of a vanilla lava farm. Very simple to do. Just a bunch of cauldrons, a bunch of dripstone, a bunch of pointed dripstone, and then lava on top of those. So it basically drips down into these cauldrons down here. So great source of, like in vanilla, of course, lava you can use for smelting. So it's a great source for, coal-less smelting, basically, especially if you've got like an auto smelter. This thing is great. The only issue becomes for this particular setup is that, as far as I know, and I've looked, but maybe y'all have a better idea here. There's no way that I have found yet in All the Mods 9 to get fluids directly out of cauldrons and into some sort of generator. So as you may notice here, I've got all the cauldrons set up, and then I've got this dark tank sitting here from Evilcraft that actually the pipes from the pipes mod will interact with correctly. So in other words, the lava in here will get sucked into our magmator and produce power. But getting it from the cauldrons to the tank is a manual process. I think now, all right, Create does have the ability to be able to actually make like infinite lava sources where you can then drag the lava out and put it into various different contraptions to create power, to create rotational force, to smelt items, to wash items and turn them into different things. So I know Create has that ability. I'm terrified of Create. I look at Create and my brain just starts frying itself, because I'm used to, like, when I look at tech mods, I look at stuff like this. I look at like pipes and generators, tanks, and that kind of stuff. So I know there's a way to do it in Create, but there's got to be a way to pull fluids out of these cauldrons to put them into other things. I mean, I've looked at Ender.io, I've looked at Applied Energistics, I've looked at GregTech. By the way, we updated the pack to 0.45, whichever the latest version is, which includes GregTech now, which is kind of cool. But I've looked at all those different mods, and I did not find a way to be able to actually drag fluids out of cauldrons into tanks and or into generators. So right now this is a manual process, but please, if y'all know a better way, if y'all have a better idea, leave it down in the comments, because this is going to get old real fast. Now, what do we need power for? Well, really the only thing right now that we need power for is to run a refined storage storage system, which is why we've got this over here and have it all set up and ready to go. So it's really all we need this for, is just to run our storage system at this point. Now, future, yes, we will need power for different things, but for right now, that's all we need it for, and it takes very little power to actually run. So just the amount of magma I've got in here should last us quite a while before I have to actually go back and refill it. As far as the setup itself, refined storage is very, very simple. It's a very easy but very powerful storage mod. So basically the three things that you need for refined storage are, first of all, a controller. That is the brain of the system. It actually is able to hook up to everything else that's within the system and be able to access it. A white grid, which, well, a grid. I chose white because it went with my color scheme, but a grid which allows you to actually interface with the actual storage system and insert or extract blocks. And a disk drive, which is where you put all of your storage disks. Refined storage uses storage disks, so it's sort of like an old school computer with old floppy disks. Yes, I know some of you don't know what a floppy disk is. That's okay. Well, I'll explain. So basically it can take up to 8 storage disks for storage. Of course, the smallest of those are the 1K storage disk, which can hold 1,000 items. You've got a 4,000, a 16,000, and a 64,000. We're going to be making 8 of the 64,000 storage disks because I have a ton of items, and 500,000 plus storage sounds like a really good deal to start off with, because that should actually sort us for a while. So let's go ahead and drop down our disk drive there. We're going to go ahead and put our grid on this side and our controller over here, and you notice that lights up. We can now access our storage, and it comes with a fair amount of storage to start with. I mean, I think it comes with like 2 pages of this, which isn't terrible, but we definitely need storage drives. And the way the storage drives work is just like this. So notice I've made some of these storage drives. I was just sort of testing things out. I made some 1K and 4K storage disks. So basically, you just go ahead and put them in just like that. And we now have 23,000 storage in here, which isn't terrible, but is not going to be enough. So between the 4K and 1K discs that we've got in here. And that's what it looks like when you're done, which I think it's just a neat looking, it's like an old-fashioned RAID cluster, which I thought was kind of fun. But that is what it'll look like when we're done with it, and we'll have 8 of these 64K storage drives in there when all is said and done. The issue becomes the 64K storage drives are very, very, very hard crafts, and they're very resource intensive. Let me show you. So here's our 64K storage disk. It takes 3 redstone, 2 glass, 3 coarse enriched iron. Okay, those are easy. And a 64K storage part, which if you go look that up, takes 4 of these advanced processors and then 16K storage parts. Well, okay, so what about 16K? 16K storage parts takes 3 4K and then 4 improved processors. All right, how about the 4K? The 4K takes 3 1K and 4... There's so much work involved to get to the 64K storage drives. Be that as it may, we do have a few things that we've got stored up here to be able to get this taken care of. So remember how I was growing silicon downstairs? I now have a fairly good supply of silicon. I've got this processor binding. These are the 2 main things that we need to be able to create these storage parts. I do have some extra machine casings in case we need them. And then we just need to get basically gold, diamonds, redstone, iron. And that's what we need for all the various different processors that we're running in this particular system. So for each 4K storage disk, we need to have, 4K storage part, we need to have 3 1Ks. For each 16K, we need 3 4Ks, and for each 64K, we need 3 16Ks. So we got a fair amount of crafting to do here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and craft all of this stuff off camera so that you don't have to sit here and watch me like fumble around with all these things. And then when I'm done, we'll come back with our 8 64K storage drives and go from there. So, yeah, I'll be back in a few days.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Oh my God, that took forever. I actually had to just AFK and go do other stuff to build up silicon, because that was a lot of crafting. But we have all of our storage disks, all our 64K storage disks. And of course, as I'm going and looking for these, if you can look over here, look at that. We have 256K storage for extra storage. Yay! No. Maybe later. not right now. But if we go over here to our storage bay, we just put all these in, and we now have 500,000 storage ready to go. Oh, thank God. So we have 500,000 storage in our storage system here, which should be more than enough for everything that we've actually got. So let's go over here, and we'll just start putting stuff in. Put that in. We'll put that in. Let me go grab stuff out of my backpack. So yeah, I'm going to put some stuff away, and then I'll be back with you. All right, now we got all that taken care of. We go over here and take a look, and we can see that we are using 57.7K of our 500,000 storage drive here, which is really nice. There's also visual indicators that'll show on here for what's getting full when. So this one's got a little yellow light on it because it's getting full, which is cool. But yeah, look over here. Everything we own is now inside this particular storage system. So if the pack bugs out and something happens, everything we own is gone. Just FYI. But I don't think it's going to bug out. I think we're okay. And if we go over here and actually check our energy for all of this, as you can see, we've hardly gone through any of this lava over here that I've went ahead and filled this up. So we've got 11.2 buckets in there. We've got 4 buckets in there. So it's just basically constantly refilling. It uses very little energy to actually run this system. So we should never really run out of power as long as we keep the lava going. I've got to figure out a way to get these automated over here. I did clean this up a little bit too. So we've got some blackstone with some of these iron bowl lanterns from Chipped, some of the shiverstone brick, and the deep throck tiles on the bottom, which I thought looked kind of cool. I think we can put a facade over this, but I think it only works with the Applied Energistics pipes and not the pipes, which is a shame. But I think we can, but I'll have to check into that and see. So, and we might do something like camouflaging the door too, so that it looks like everything else. But yeah, we now have a complete storage system, and if you go back in here and check, you can see all of our chests that were on the wall over here are now gone. So it's looking kind of bare. Got to figure out what we're going to do with it. We might keep it so that it's like workstations and different stuff that we're doing on those. I didn't like that sound. What was... Wait a minute. This isn't burning my room down, is it? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, cool. Anyway, we might put different workstations and stuff on the wall, so we might like move all this stuff to that wall over there, so we still have like our ores and metalwork kind of stuff there, stone, farming, wood and wood products. We might keep all those in those particular areas and just sort of move them around a little bit so that we've got more room to work with and more room for expansion later on if we want to. Kind of depends. I'm not sure what I want to do with it just yet. So, but yeah, that's everything. And that actually also includes everything that was in these barrels over here, which was like mob drops and stuff like that. So the only things we don't have in the storage system are our food and our food products up here, and then everything that's down here in our botany pot setup, and then of course everything that's downstairs in these botany pot setups. So this is the only stuff that is not in our storage is stuff that's like this. I had to make this guy as a Fluix researcher because I was out of slime. If you happen to run out of slime in this particular pack, there is a solution for that. And the solution is actually these little trading things from Easy Villagers. You go grab a villager, you grab one of these trading stations, toss the villager in with an actual workstation. In this case, it's the I can't remember the name of this thing, the charging station, I think. And he becomes a Fluix researcher, and you can get slime balls from him. 8 emeralds for 5 slime balls. Not the greatest of deals, but at this point I've got so many emeralds it just doesn't matter. So we've got a source of slime over here, so we're good. So if we need to have any kind of binding or anything in the future. Oh, and I got some bees. I went out and found some bees because I wanted bees. And we've even got some bumblebees flying around in here, which I don't know if they'll actually go in the hives or not. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we got some bees. So we have a source of honey and honeycomb, which will be important later. But yeah, that is everything in our storage done. So we've got power, we've got storage. We do have one other thing, though, I wanted to actually look at. As you can see, I think it was in 0.35, the update, that Mine Colonies was actually introduced. So we have one of my favorite things, which is the Mine Colonies supply ship. And we're missing something out here in the harbor. We really need a boat. We really do. And rather than build one, I'm going to go ahead and use the supply ship, because some of the supply ships they've actually got with mine colonies are really neat looking. Really easy to build this, by the way. It takes basically 5 chest boats in a boat pattern to make this supply ship. And you can also do the supply wagon too. That'll make like a little fortress for you, which is kind of neat. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and actually put this somewhere in the harbor. I'm thinking, well, let's see. So we can move it around here. Click on the tool on a solid block. But it's a boat. Why would I click on a solid? Oh my God, whatever. Hang on. There. No, there. How about here? Here? No. You're going to be difficult, aren't you? Hold on. There we go. Use the arrow buttons on the right to move. So let's completely move this up. All right, there we go. So now we can sort of move this around a little bit. So let's go ahead and move it back a little bit. This is one of the nice things about this is you can adjust where everything is on these, which is cool. And you can, until you get it to the point where it's completely set in stone, you can just sort of wander through it here. So like this needs to go up a little bit because it's still underwater. So doink, doink, doink. There we go. And then just press escape to get out so you can actually see what's going on. Oh, hello. Water above. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's go 1, 2, 3 back down. Okay then. So now, and I think you can be as far away from this thing as you, once you get it set down, you can be like all the way over here. Yes. Okay. So now we can kind of rotate it around here and see which direction we want it to go. And we can also switch up what we want here. So we've got, let's see, birch, colonial, desert. Do they have like a fantasy? Mine colonies. Shire. Getting closer. Lost Mesa City. That's kind of fun. Fortress. Nordic. Cavern. Incan. Medieval Dark Oak. Urban Savannah. I'm curious as to what the Shire... Oh, that's... No. No. Ooh, that's kind of pretty, huh? Dark Oak. That's very Greek kind of inspired, I think. Or maybe Norse inspired? I'm not sure. Ooh, that's a very bright ship. I don't know, I think I kind of like it, though. It kind of goes with our color scheme, doesn't it? What happened there? Anyone want a flying boat? And this is a very, I'd say, heavily Spanish-inspired galleon. I can't tell you why I think that, but just the color scheme kind of tips me off to that one. Although, there's interesting flags, but yeah, this looks very Spanish-inspired. And if this actually went with our build, I would be very, very happy with that one. Just simply because it's a more of a Asian-inspired, like junk almost, which is a really cool design. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go with what we're doing around here. So, gonna have to pass, unfortunately. So this is called the Lost Cities one. So that's a very almost feel like that's Egyptian kind of themed. Maybe, well... Lost Cities is kind of, I'm thinking like Inca, Aztec, Mayan, but that to me says Egypt right there is what that screams. I see the Vikings have arrived. This is medieval birch. I kind of like that. That's interesting. Never mind. That's the Egyptians. That's like 100% the Egyptians right there, I think. Unless, let's turn it sideways. Oh, that's interesting. So this is supposed to be a jungle style. So, This one's called Space Wars. I'm not all that into it. It's supposed to be like a Star Wars inspired one, and I'm not. It's just not doing it for me. Here we have our dragon boat for medieval spruce. Might be a winner as well, although I'm thinking maybe going with that birch frigate inspiration build is probably going to be the one I go with, but this one's pretty close. I don't know what to think of this one. Like, this one is more... obviously Viking inspired than anything else because of the tent and the dragon on the front. Very colorful. Very cool looking. Not sure it goes with anything at my base. What in God's name is that? I don't even know. Is it supposed to be a paddle wheel boat? Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go with the birch. That's too good to pass up, honestly. So now the question becomes, where do we want it? Because we could just have it there in the bay. We could have it docked over here. I'm thinking that maybe we get it a little closer. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work. Not all blocks. Oh, here we go with this. So, okay, what are you? Oh, gotcha. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So yes, I could totally build a boat. I've built them before, not any of my series, but I've actually built them off camera, so I know how to build them. Well, actually, Lord Dakar helped me with All Mod 7. I did build one of his little fishing boats in that one. So yeah, I could build the boat myself, but I really like the way these Mine Colonies boats look, and if you go look on the inside of them here, you can notice they're basically meant to be starter bases. So you get the Mine Colony stuff, you loot it in a chest, or you make one real fast, and you jump on board here, and you can actually go... Ooh, I like that door. You can go back in here, and here's the captain's cabin. You've got some... Oh, I guess I can sleep here, too. I guess I didn't realize it was night. Derp. You go look on these little shelves. You've got like starter materials to make your town hall. You've got calipers over here. You've got an architect's cutter from Domum Ornamentum. You know what? I'm taking this with me. If I can. There we go. That is totally coming with me. Those are nice too. Yeah, Domum Ornamentum is used heavily in some of the Mine Colony stuff. And then if you go downstairs to this area, you have this little like crew quarter area, but you also have more stuff here. Like you've got starter tools, charcoal, starter food. Actually, give me that. Need the bread for Monte Cristos. So you've got all this stuff down here to actually help you get started. It's sort of like a bonus chest, but you have to work for it. It's like a super bonus chest because you get all of the different crafting stations and everything else to go with it too. So like you go up here on the deck and you've got the crow's nest up here, so we can actually get a bird's eye view of our base for kind of the first time. Oh yeah, that's cool looking. Although I want to go over to that one. Yeah, that's very cool. Getting a bird's eye view of everything that's over here. So you got the village, you've got the Tearsfall Glades build, you got the house, the bridge. It's like everything. You can see everything from up here on the top of the crow's nest. Our house, the stables. Very cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It works out well, I think. Now, the unfortunate part is you can only ever have one of these supply ships. You can't have multiple ships. So, like in All Mod 7, I tried to put like 2 or 3 of these in the harbor. You can only have one. It only allows one. Because, I mean, I guess more than one, I guess I could see it be kind of overpowered. Yeah, but I wish you could make more of them. Because if you could have like a whole harbor full of those. Because if you notice where we live here, if you go look at the map, you can see we're kind of in this little inlet right here. Which is kind of a neat place for ships to stop. And you know, we could even go as far if we wanted to dig a canal over here. We could actually, that could be a project. We could do like a Panama Canal style canal right there and just make sort of a little build about it for something. I don't know what. I build things. I just start building stuff and then I come up with a use for it later. And then there's one other thing I wanted to build to actually go along with our new storage here, and that is this. This is a wireless crafting grid. So this is something that you basically, it just takes some coarse enriched iron, an ender pearl, a crafter, and an advanced processor to make. It does need to be charged, so luckily I was able to actually find this charging station and running it out and about looking for villagers and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if this actually works with this charging station or if we need something else. I suspect we need something else. I just dropped these down here because they were, cool looking blocks. Toss them down, sure. But we want to build that, which means we're going to need the various different things for this. We need 6 quartz enriched iron, an advanced processor, ender pearl. So let's go ahead and say this is the nicest thing about this. So here we go. We can go ahead and get an ender pearl. And then we can go ahead and get our quartz enriched iron. Ta-da! And what do we have for processors in here? Nothing. So let's go ahead and get that. We need a diamond. We have 484 diamonds. That's awesome. And after a little bit more crafting and also, more importantly, figuring out exactly which charging station I needed to use for this, because it does require power as well, we have our wireless crafting grid. So cool. So now we have didn't pay no attention to this charger over here. It doesn't work. So now we have access to be able to basically from anywhere 16 blocks away right now is what we've got this set up as. So if I go over here, as you can see, it works. Let's see if it works. It works over here. Oh, now we're out of range. But basically, from the time we walk into downstairs here, we have all this stuff in range to be able to actually pull this out and craft whatever we want from our storage system. So that is very handy to have. This thing does run out of energy pretty quickly. Luckily, this charging station holds like 1,000,000 FE. So we're basically going to go through... Why, thank you again, Coriel Tombstone. So basically, we're going to go through a lot of lava at first, just getting this thing charged up, because you can actually go in here and check and see what everything takes. So the grid takes 2, the drive takes 8, so it's 1 per disk, and then the wireless transmitter takes 8. You also need this wireless transmitter for the wireless crafting grid, or any wireless grid at all, to work, and it has to be hooked up to this so they can broadcast out what's in the storage system. So, and then you'll need this charging station to charge up your wireless crafter. None of the other ones I pulled up worked, so I had like 3 different ones to choose from. I tried all of them, and this is the one that actually functions. So don't be fooled by any of the other charging stations that are in there. They are lying to you. You need this one specifically, which is the one that is from Charging Gadgets, the charging station from Charging Gadgets, to work with this. Now, will the mod authors and will the mod pack developers actually get together and figure out how they can make all these things play nice with one another at some point? I suspect those conversations are going on right now anyways, because there were a number of mod conflicts originally. This seems like not so much a mod conflict, but you only have one option for charging, where it's a sandbox pack. You're supposed to have many options to be able to solve problems. I wouldn't at all doubt that they're going to fix this in the future so that this, or the Applied Energistics charging station, or the wireless charging station from More Charging, all of those will work. Right now, this is the only one that does. So if you're going to make this system and you want it to be wireless, you need this to charge your wireless crafting grid. So let the buyer beware. Oh, and I almost forgot, my boat was missing something. Anyway, I hope this has been enlightening for those of you who are getting started with all the mods 9. You're looking at like various different storage solutions and which one to use. Obviously, of course, it's up to you. Everyone has their own personal preferences. Refined storage, very easy to use, very easy to put together. Difficult to get like the amount of storage I have, but not that hard to get into if you just want to make some 4K storage drives. They're actually pretty simple to make. Pop them in there, and you've got, 32,000 storage, which is good for the beginning game. So it's definitely something good to have. The Magnetor is a very good tool to use for that, for early power as well. I hope that helped you make the decision towards what you're going to do and how you're going to go about getting your power and everything. Obviously, yes, a nuclear reactor or solar would probably be better overall, because it's completely, almost totally hands-off for both of those things. Solar is completely hands-off. Once you put it in, you're done. So I can understand wanting to go with one of those versus what I did, but once again, I've done the other ones before. Wanted to try this one. So maybe we'll stick with it, maybe we won't. We'll just have to see what happens in the future. But I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Very build-heavy, or well, tech-heavy, I guess, episode today. But something we needed to get done so that I actually had some storage space around here. And my inventory looks so much better now. I feel so much better about things. So, but I hope you had a good time. Hope this helped you out. Please feel free to leave a like and subscribe on the way out the door today. But if you don't feel like subscribing, that's perfectly all right. Hey, I do this for fun. I do this for stress relief. I do this for therapy. And I do this for entertainment. So just having you along on the journey has been fantastic. Another episode's coming later in the week, so be on the lookout for that. But until such time, make sure you go out tonight, play some games, have some fun. We'll see you all again real soon. Have a good night, everybody.